So a shadow is, according to Jung, an aspect of our personality that got heavily dismissed and disowned and therefore suppressed from our consciousness since an early age. Let's say, for example, that I grew up in an environment where being loud, expressive, or even creative is not so welcomed. It's like not accepted, so it's rejected. In a family that is very strict and rigid and doesn't show any tendency to creativity of any sorts, and only praises hard work and following the rules. When we express this side of us, when we are loud, what happens is that we get shamed for it. This aspect gets blamed, gets scolded, and if this experience is repeated enough times as a pattern, and it's replicated by friends, our teachers in school, society at large, we start, in childhood this happens, we start making this association where this aspect of us, in this case being loud and expressive and creative, is not okay, is not accepted in our society and in our family. And what does it mean? It means that we have no chance of survival. It's impossible for a child to survive without its caregivers, right? Or to have a social life if he gets abandoned and emarginated, isolated from society. If I want to keep the belonging, the affection, the love, the safety, I need to sacrifice this part of me, because this part is not okay, is not allowed. We don't know about it. How do we find out? We find out because along the way, along our path, it happens, especially when we are adults, we see this. It happens that someone else who had a different experience of life and whose creative side wasn't repressed, wasn't rejected, but was probably praised in their family, this person shows up in our life and is embracing this side completely. Is allowed to be loud, to get attention, to be praised, to be admired. And what happens in us, that person triggers us immensely, and we start being envious, and we start even shame this person. We don't always know why, but it's like a call, a deep call inside of us that says, I don't like this person. I don't want this person to be free, because I wasn't allowed to be free. That's what's going on inside of us, and we're not conscious about it. So all we see is that person triggers me, so I better push them away. And when it happens that someone it really triggers us, it's because they own an aspect of ourselves that we suppressed and we need to integrate. They want to be embraced again and want to be integrated in your consciousness, also because they are part of you. It's your authenticity that got suppressed. If you start seeing this shadow and you start trying to integrate this part of you, the other part, which is part of the ego, and it's called the protector, will fight against it. It doesn't want you to see it and to integrate it. And why is that? Not because ego is this horrible, bad entity inside of us, but it's just a mask, an armor that we used to protect ourselves from being hurt. Because we have been hurt in the past, and it was very painful, because as children we didn't have any tools to survive this pain of being shamed, being hurt, being blamed, being isolated, abandoned, rejected. This was painful as kids. It's still painful now, because we are reminded of those experiences that happened in the past. The protector will avoid it, will try all it can to stop us from even seeing this part, because it caused a lot of trouble in the past. You are actually called to face both sides, like they are opposite sides, and you start integrating both of them by having them dialogue and find a common ground, so that you can create inner peace. This is the whole concept of inner peace made practical. It's you finding peace between these two parts that are fighting. And by the way, there are at this very moment, there are infinite conflicts like this happening within us. Inner peace is achieved by finding the split and finding peace, finding another split, finding peace. And the more you do it, the easier it will get, and it will be so good afterwards. Every time you create peace, all the energy that goes into maintaining the split, all these walls up, all this anger being fed with all the emotions that are trapped in that moment the shadow was created, all this mess, all this chaos disappears, fades away when you start integrating this part. So this is why shadow work is not only important, it's essential. It's essential. No therapy, no path, no spiritual endeavor can be complete without you becoming complete. You need to find out which parts of you are not seeing and you are not embracing, and you start embracing them. It's that easy. It's that easy. Shadow work, it's this easy, and everyone can do it if just we want. Whenever we feel like, oh, this shadow, I don't want it because it created so havoc in the past and it's like a monster. It's not a monster. It's like a screaming puppy. It's a kid calling for help, crying for help. And the same goes from the protector. They both want the same. They both want your safety. Enough with being fake, with not being authentic. And I think you should give it a try.